Hey, what's good, everybody? It's the Mecca Beast, King God. You already know, King Emperor, if you will. Even, just simply Quincy Cook. Um, I definitely want to emphasize the reason why symbolism is so important. Definitely in today's society. Uh, I like to think it was around 2005 that the whole all-seeing eye and the pyramid and all those things on the dollar bill that could be acclaimed as the Rothschilds and the Jews and whatnot. That's their symbols to put up there, but really was just stolen symbolism from more Kemetic ancestries and whatnot. A lot of people like to think that it was just Egyptians that came up with these things. You know what I mean? But the real big thing that you should take from it is that it didn't come from where a lot of people think it comes from, which is the Illuminati. And when I say Illuminati, I don't mean break down the word in its Latin root, meaning illuminatus is derived from the Latin root word illuminatus, meaning, the enlightened ones, which in fact would make those that understand what I'm saying and myself the Illuminati. I mean to say the nerd Jews that want you to be scared of them and want you to have a fear of them, thinking that they control the world when really all they really control is money, currency. That which we have taken goods and equated to a dollar bill or a digit. It used to be barter and trading and whatnot, and they was like, hey, let's come up with a currency. Each state in America had their own currency at one point, and then they decided to do an entire federal currency. The Federal Reserve owns the banks, they own the money, um, and they also fund other organizations and agencies that do control things and do things outside of the law and whatnot. These are basically, when you hear like an agency being funded by the Federal Reserve, all you really need to hear is somebody that gets to operate within their own means, within their own rules. Somebody that's above the law. No person is above the law, but you can be under an agency. You know what I mean? An agency is what can do these things, because you would have to then find or take the corrupt agency to the prison. You can't take an agency to the prison. You know what I mean? Unless you got one specific person that's doing certain things, like J. Edgar Hoover. You know what I mean? This gentleman is a person that was in charge. Leonardo did it. He portrayed him in a biography, and it was very nice. But if you do a lot of research, this gentleman feared a lot of black men that had power, that had influence. You know what I mean? And those are J. Edgar Hoover is a person that you could definitely pinpoint and blame for assassinating Martin Luther King and getting rid of a lot of people that we deem to be powerful and deem to have a lot of say. But at the end of the day, the biggest thing that you should know is who he was funded by, who paid his bills, who made sure that his kids and children were taken care of and whatnot. And that was not only by his means, of course, but at the end of the day, who cut the check? You know what I mean? Where's this coming from? Where's the source of the water? You know what I mean? Where's the source of the liquid cash that he got to do what he needed to do? And that would be the Federal Reserve. You know what I mean? Who cut that check? It might have been through the FBI, but at the end of the day, the Federal Reserve was funding them. The Federal Reserve funds the CIA. The Federal Reserve funds the FDA. The Federal Reserve funds a lot of different agencies that you could, like ALEC. They fund them. You know what I mean? ALEC are the people that writes and proposes different laws and different bills and whatnot. They have a lot of different things that they have the influence over, not only because of the fact that they've been used for so many years, have so many references, such as the Clintons that passed many laws to have a lot of innocent people locked up, to have a lot of people uh, poorly locked away for a vast majority of their life, to have all for things that are going to be soon legal, or that in a different way, such as taking away baking soda from cocaine. Baking soda plus cocaine makes the molecule that people would call ready rock or crack. There you have it. If you take the baking soda away from the crack, you then turn it into coke, and then basically that would be a completely different judgment that you would receive from the law based on the fact of the molecule. Like if you even put heroin with the crack, you damn near get 9 years automatically. You know what I mean? Heroin and crack are something that people smoked at one point. And it took a lot of different resources to understand that that's actually what is considered crack, not just putting the baking soda with the coke. That's a different story. So yeah, I mean, essentially, there was a lot of different agencies that were funded by the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve was started. A lot of people would like to think that it started in the early 1900s in America. There are some resources that say it started later than that, and there are some resources that say that it started in the 1800s. You know what I mean? And basically, if you do your bloodline work with these people have ties into the Catholic Church, the Roman Catholic Church. That means the Pope. These people are connected to the people that they're always going to try to connect themselves to the people that control the people. You know what I mean? It's good for them to do that. Why? Because at the end of the day, they have funding. Funding gets people to do what? Things. You know what I mean? That power that people place, the value that people place in things. You know what I mean? The whole world would go in a fucking frenzy if everybody in America, or specifically everybody that was black in America, or African American, or the Asiatic person in America, if every Asiatic in America decided to stop giving a fuck about money for even a day, for a couple hours, shit would go ape shit. Shit would go ape shit. It would actually throw the entire balance of the world off, because now everybody's gotten used to this whole idea that America came up with, this whole funding. So at the end of the day, what do you do now? Now that you know that by you stopping to fuck with it, it completely makes a different reality. Now you have to take into consideration how much power you're going to get from this thing called Bitcoin. This Bitcoin thing came out of nowhere. And I don't know if the regular person feels it came out of nowhere. I know it's gaining popularity. I know that it's nowhere near as popular as it's going to be. I know that it's a new currency that's being pushed. But just think about this for a second. If we stop investing into currencies that we know nothing of, we don't have the know-how of it. Like their claims to be no name that is actually linked to it. But if there's money, if you can take the money and transfer it into a different currency, why not transfer it into a currency that's for your people, by your people? You know what I mean? I don't know. But at the end of the day, if it really did start as early as the 1900s, of people just coming up with an idea of, fucking people over, making them buy a house, then telling them to, give up the money that they funded in the first place for the house, and basically that's, gets a nice triangle pyramid effect going. We should definitely consider a few things, and one of them are, making our own bank, something that's forced by us. The second would be the first should be completely stopping everything that's going on. So, as far as taking our money and buying more into their products and buying more into their ideas, we actually need to come up with some better ideas and some better products. What we actually need to do is come up with some better ideas and some better products, and come up with a specific place that we can then build all of these things. So it starts with the first thing that we're really taking the ball from, and we're really taking our eye off of. We need land.